lecture on the surgery. In last lecture, we have been seeing the fracture. We have seen the definition of the fracture and the classification of fracture. In today's lecture, we will see the two parts of the fracture. One is the fracture lines and second type of displacement. So first of all, we see the fracture lines. As yesterday we have seen, the fracture is what? The discontinuity in the anatomical continuity is there. And when this discontinuity is there, there is a line of separation is there. And when the line of separation forms after the discontinuity or after the breach in the bone, the pattern of the lines are variable. And these are called as a fracture lines. These are, number one, transverse fracture. Transverse fracture. Second, oblique fracture. Third, spiral fracture, or you can say spiral or fracture line. And the fourth one is irregular. Irregular. These are four types of the fracture lines are there, and on the basis of the fracture lines also, the fracture can be classified in these groups are there. In fact, they are classified in the 5 groups. But the fifth one is that crush, as we have seen in last lecture. Crush, compression fracture. So there is no fracture line there. So, but usually there are 4 patterns of the fracture lines there. The first one is a transverse fracture, where the line of the fracture is the transverse. Where line of the fracture is the transverse. Then it is called as a transverse fracture. Transverse fracture. Where oblique fracture, in the oblique fracture, the line of separation of the two fracture end or the line of the discontinuity, it is oblique. It is oblique. Then this type of the fracture is called as a oblique fracture. So you are getting oblique or fracture. Then spiral fracture, where the line of the fracture is a spiral. Spiral in the side. Spiral. Then this type of the fracture is called a spiral fracture is there. Spiral fracture. And the fourth one, irregular. Irregular fracture. The irregular fracture, the line of the fracture is irregular. It's of any kind. It may like this also, or it may like this also. Means there is no definitive pattern of the fracture line. Then this is called as a irregular fractures. So they understood? According to the fracture lines, the fractures are of the 4 types. Or you can say the formation of the fracture lines, the possibilities of these 4 possibilities are there of the formation of the fracture line. Do you understood? Now the next one point is the type of displacement. Displacements. Types of displacements. As we have been saying, by taking the classification of the fracture can be classified on the basis of the displacement, which is undisplaced fracture and second displaced fracture. As you have seen, undisplaced means what? There is a fracture is there, separation is there, or discontinuity, the continuity of the bone is there, but the fracture end doesn't displace, they remain at that place. But another type of the fracture is a displaced fracture, in which there is a after the separation, the two fracture displaces from their place, isn't it? And this displacement is of the various kind. One that we will see the types of the displacement. This may be, the displacement may be, number one is impaction, second retraction, angulation, angulation, and the fifth one is twist, twist or twisting, you can say, twisting. The first one, impaction. Impaction means what? It is a type of displacement where after the fracture, the two fracture ends, they get impacted into each other. Impact into each other. See, so suppose this is the bone and the fracture gets occurs, forms of the line of separation, and after the line of separation, this fracture ends gets impacted each other. This type of the fracture is called as impacted fracture. We will see the figure. So this is bone. So this is impaction is there where the distal end gets impacted into the proximal end. Either this end may be moved or this will be moved. So how to identify the impaction clinically? After the impaction, when examined clinically, the shortening of the part. Deformity is what? Whatever deformity is there, shortening of the part after the impaction will occur. Because one end impact into or goes into another, that causes the or decrease in the length. So shortening is there. Second feature is that even after the fracture, in case of impaction, the movements are possible, free movements are possible, or movements are painless because it occurs as a hinge after the impaction and the patient can move the part or the bone is there. Then second is retraction. Retraction means where the two fracture ends, they retract or goes away from each other. Move in opposite direction. This retraction means after the formation of fracture line, two ends goes away from each other is called as a retraction. So how to diagnose clinically? There is a increased length of the part. You can say lengthening of the part. In this what was happened? Shortening of the part. And here lengthening of the part is there. And here movements are difficult. Movements will be the painful, isn't it? But main deformity is what? Lengthening of the part. Here it should be compared the affected part with the non-affected part. Suppose there is fracture of the humerus of the left arm, and in case of the impaction, what happens? If we measure the length of this arm and comparing with the length of the unaffected arm, right arm, so definitely there is no shortening here. And in case of the retraction, there is a lengthening of the left arm as compared to the non-affected arm. Do I got? Then next, the overlapping. In overlapping, the two fracture ends, they overlap on each other. After the fractures, what happens? They get overlap on each other like this. Suppose this is the bone, and if after the separation of line, this gets overlap on each other. Overlapping. Overlapping there. So where one end overlaps on the another end is there. How will identify clinically or how will diagnose clinically? Here the first shortening of the part, isn't it? But as compared to that of the impaction, here movements are painful, restricted. It may be restricted. How will differentiate this impaction from the overlap? Because in both there is a shortening of the part is there. But in the impaction, the pain is less, free movements are possible, and movements are painless. But here, what? The pain is there, movements restricted, and even though some movements takes place, the movements is painful. Movement is painful. They understood? You have to differentiate this clinically. Are you able to diagnose the clinically? Then angulation. Angulation is what? Where two fracture ends this angulation is there. Angulation. After the fracture, what happens? The two ends moves to one side. Moves to, so this is the one side. So this causes the angulation. And angulation is identified by the deformity, isn't it? Projection to that side. Suppose this is posterior angulation, so you will see the bend posteriorly. If it is anterior, you will see the anterior bend. So that is the angulation. In angulation, shortening is also there, but shortening is not considered for the diagnosis. The bending is considered for the angulation there. Now twisting. Twisting means what? After the formation of the fracture line or after the separation of the two fracture end, so the one end may twist. One may twist, moves. Isn't that called the twisting one there? In figure you can see. So this is twisting. So lower distal end gets twist. Usually this should be in opposition with this, and this should be in opposition with this. But due to twisting, it has been changed. It has been changed. So twisting is there. And how does twisting is identified? By the deformity. The person will come with by keeping this hand like this. If of the legs, it will like either this one, outward rotation, or the inward rotation. Similarly with what? The upper limb. Either it will be the pronation, like this, forward pronation, or the supination with lateral rotation. So that indicating the twisting. Where in this, the patient is unable to, if the pronation is there, patient is unable to supine the arm, forearm. Or it is supinated, and it is unable to pronate. That denote or indicate there is a twisting. So these are the type of displacement. This is very important to remember that, because the reduction of the fracture is depend upon type of displacement. And this is very important for the treatment of the fracture, because unless and until you doesn't reduce the fracture, reduction means what? Neutralization of this displacement. Reduce the fracture, the healing of the fracture is not possible. Either it's called delayed healing, or the malhealing, or maybe the non-union. So for the proper union, or for the proper restoration of the anatomical continuity of the bone, you must have reduced the fracture, or you must have carried the reduction of the fracture properly. And for proper reduction, we must have know what type of displacement is there. And according to that displacement, the method of the reduction is carried out. So that's why the reduction displacement of the fracture is important for the management of the fracture. Hope that you have understood the types of displacement. So in today's lecture, we have been seen the fracture lines, different fracture lines are there, and the various types of the displacement. If you have any queries, you can share it in the comments. I will try to solve your difficulties. Watch the video and prepare yourself.